The Bell Gargoyles are a boss that have long been thought to be unskippable, but that all changes today. We're going to start this run off as a Pyromancer with the Master Key as our gift. If my game looks different than normal, it's because I'm doing this run on the original version of the game, not remastered. The trek through the asylum is going to be pretty standard. Grab the axe, the Estus flask, the pyromancy flame, and take out the demon. Now in Lordran, our main objective is to obtain two important items, the Black Eye Orb and the Purple Coward's Crystal. There are any number of routes you can take to get these items, but I'll take you through what I did. Grab the Homeward Bones and the Zweihander from Firelink. Next, head into New Londo Ruins, grab the S-Stock, and carry on to the Valley of Drakes. Grab the Soul Between the Dragon's Talons, proceed to Darkroot Basin, and grab the Grasscrest Shield. You'll also want to grab the Longbow now, so you don't have to run back and grab it later like me. Now head over to Andre. We're going to utilize the prompt swap glitch by clicking the left arrow in the shop menu with our mouse at the same time we select the wood bolts. This will result in us being able to buy a glitched Kaestus? Kaestus? Cestus? I couldn't find a definitive answer on how this thing's name is pronounced in English. I'm going with Cestus because it's easier to say. Regardless, bringing up a prompt on the Cestus in Andre's shop after buying the glitched stack of them will store a negative max quantity value in memory. We can then use the brightness dupe to drop a negative quantity of the soul we picked up, resulting in us duping it. We'll want to pop 8 of the duped souls to get the number of souls we'll need. Unfortunately, we can't pop hundreds of souls at once like in Remastered, but this is good enough for our purposes. When you're done, buy 9 shards from Andre and upgrade the Zweihander to +5. We'll then want to level up, getting 12 endurance, 16 strength, and 10 dexterity. Now it's time for Sen's Gate Skip. Lure one of the hollows down to the second post from the bottom of the stairs, and parry and riposte him to clip into the death cam trigger. With the death cam active, the gate to Sen's fortress won't load, so we can walk in, then save and quit and reload to get into the fortress early. When you load back in, proceed through Sen's like normal, all the way to the Iron Golem. From there, set up move swap on the Zweihander, utilizing the S-Stock and Longbow. There are a number of ways to perform move swap on the original version of the game, so I'll link to a couple tutorials in the description. Utilize move swap to take out the Iron Golem, and head into Anor Londo. Dump all of the souls from the Golem into Strength, then proceed through the area like normal. Grab the Dragon Tooth, and then it's time to take on Ornstein and Smo. For this fight, you'll want to brute force your way through by move swapping with the Dragon Tooth. We aren't very tanky, but our massive damage potential makes up for it. Dump the souls into Vitality, then destroy the illusion of Guinevere. Head downstairs to open the big door, then take out the Firekeeper since she's now mad at us. Head back to Firelink and make your way into the back entrance to Blighttown. Meme rolling does work in the original Dark Souls as well, but it requires a very specific equip load dependent on floating point rounding errors. Fortunately, with 12 endurance, we have an easy setup. With the full Pyromancer outfit, the Grasscrest Shield, and the S-Stock equipped, we'll be at the perfect weight to meme roll down to Lower Blighttown, just like in Remastered. Make your way to the chest behind the bonfire to grab a Dragon Scale, then start heading towards Quelaag. The fight with Quelaag should be fairly trivial with the Dragon Tooth, and afterwards we can ring the bell. Use the souls from Quelaag to buy the Crest of Artorias from Andre, then use the classic boss soul dupe to get 50,000 souls. When you're done, use the glitch Cestus to duplicate the Dragon Scale and upgrade the Dragon Tooth to +5. Our next target is the Hydra, but we're going to stop to grab a couple of items along the way. Open the door, but take the path leading towards the Moonlight Butterfly instead. Obliterate the tree, then follow the path it was guarding to get the wolf ring. Head through the door and grab the stone armor. Now make your way to the bottom of the basin and take out the Hydra. Save, quit, and reload to get the golden golem to spawn, take him out, and speak to Dusk. We'll now want to return to Anor Londo and make our way into the Duke's archives. There's a slight problem in that the golden fog gate is still in our way, so we'll need to move along a seam at the edge of the map to be able to get inside. If you want to learn the seam walk yourself, I'll link to a tutorial in the description. Once you're on the ceiling, you can force quit wrong warp to get inside the archives. From there, make your way up the elevator and take out the golem to get the broken pendant. Return to the bottom of Darkroot Basin, and it's time to enter the DLC. Take out the Guardian, then meme roll down the elevator shaft to quickly get to Artorias. Take out Artorias, and then enter the Battle of Stoicism to receive the Purple Coward's Crystal. Spend the souls however you want, and then it's time to fight the last boss required to skip the Gargoyles. The Gargoyles themselves. No, I'm not joking. You might be confused on how we can skip the Gargoyles if we have to beat them. As odd as it might seem, this is a required step. I promise it'll all make sense soon. Take them out, then ring the bell. We can now return to Firelink to collect the Black Eye Orb. You'll now want to return to the Undead Parish and start heading back towards the bell tower, clearing out all of the enemies along the way. Now equip the stone armor and smack Oswald until he gets mad at you. Time for the hard part. We need to perform a critical attack on Oswald at the same time we get on the ladder. You'll either want to stand against the ladder, tank through his attacks, and run around to backstab him at the same time you interact with the ladder, or get him against the ladder, parry him, and riposte at the same time you interact with the ladder. You'll know you've done it correctly if your character moves in position to get on the ladder, but performs the critical animation instead. Those of you familiar with Dark Souls 3 glitches might recognize this glitch. Yep, it is ladder storage. Elo, the same glitch hunter who found it in Dark Souls 3, also recently found it for Dark Souls 1. The Dark Souls 1 version of it is much more unstable, however. Here's a list of things that are known to break ladder storage. Running out of stamina. The running pivot animation. Entering the falling state. Flinching. Curling up in the nest. And of course, interacting with ladders. We'll need to avoid doing any of those things as we navigate our way to our destination. We can overcome falls by meme rolling our way down any ledges we encounter. We never leave the rolling state while in the air, so we don't enter the falling state. Flinching shouldn't be a problem through the parish if you took out the enemies. As long as you avoid the traps, Sen's Fortress shouldn't pose much of a threat of flinching either. If you run through the area, the only enemy that poses a real threat of hitting you is this lightning thrower. If you've only gone through the area once, the boulders should be on a cycle where none come down the path you're on, so they shouldn't be a problem either. Carry on through Sens, all the way to Anor Londo. Because Anor Londo is dark, the only enemy we would have encountered on our path is the Firekeeper. But she's long dead, so she won't be a problem. Roll onto and off of the elevator just to be sure you don't fall at all, and make your way into Anor Londo's main keep. Once you're there, use the Black Eye Orb. We'll be taken into Lautric's world, where we'll immediately want to use the Black Separation Crystal to leave. If you maintained ladder storage all the way through, you'll end up back at the ladder past the Gargoyles. While this would be cool if the Gargoyles were still alive, they're not, so let's make a new character and see if we have better luck this time. We'll want to play through like normal on this character until we get close to the Gargoyles. At that point, switch back over to the first character again, and make your way to the area where the Hydra was in Darkroot Basin. You'll then want to save and quit, then completely quit out of Dark Souls. Reboot the game, and load back into the first character again. You'll then want to equip the Purple Coward's Crystal and the Estus Flask to your hotbar. Now move down into the water. This will cause the DLC map to load. We'll then want to take a wide path to get to the back of this rock. If you go directly towards it, sometimes the DLC unloads. Now roll onto the rock, and it's time to perform item swap using the Purple Coward's Crystal and the Estus Flask. This is done by attempting to use an item you can't use, followed by immediately queuing a weapon toggle. You then need to interrupt the toggle by falling, followed by using an item you can use on the exact frame you land. I'll link to a more detailed tutorial on item swap in the description. We need to perform the item swap here, as the Purple Coward's Crystal won't activate if the DLC isn't loaded. When you successfully perform the item swap, immediately run over to the ladder to unload the DLC. You'll want to block or weapon toggle to accelerate instantly, or you won't have enough time to make it. The game will boot you back to the main menu. Now load the second character we made. When we load back in, we'll be at the ladder beyond the gargoyles, and can ring the bell without ever having encountered them on this character. But I'm sure many of you are confused as to how this happened, so let me break it down. When we performed ladder storage using Oswald, our stable position became locked to where we were when we started interacting with the ladder. We then invaded Law Trick. When you perform an invasion, coordinates of where you were when you performed the invasion are stored to the character's save data. Because our stable position was locked with ladder storage, the coordinates that get stored are from where we were when we performed it. Whenever a character's data is loaded, their invasion coordinates are also loaded into memory. When you create a new character with invasion coordinates already in memory, those coordinates will be saved to the new character's data. With the new character, we then had to get close enough to the invasion coordinates so the collision for the map would be loaded, otherwise we would have just fallen through the ground. From there, we then took advantage of a glitch called PCC Storage Invasion Point Wrong Warp. Invasion maps remain loaded in memory even when you're far away. If your character is hollow, when you use the purple Coward's Crystal after unloading the DLC, your character will be warped to the default point of that invasion map instead. If you unload the invasion map by saving and quitting beforehand, the game gets confused on where it should send you and ends up booting you back to the main menu. At that point, loading any character other than the one you performed the glitch on will result in that character being placed at the invasion coordinates in their save data. Because this character was created with invasion coordinates by the ladder beyond the gargoyles, she ends up there, successfully skipping them. The other thing I'm sure some of you are wondering is, does this work on Remastered? Sadly, it does not. Everything up to the final step works, but after you get booted back to the main menu by unloading the DLC, loading in a different character will just have them remain exactly where they were. So unfortunately, no gargoyle skip on Remastered for now. In any case, I hope you found this video helpful or entertaining, and I will see you guys in another video.